Well, that was the shot of a millionaire. And almost the end of Steve Waugh. That's exactly the shot you were talking about.
It worries me, that shot. Too far away from the ball. Yet his defence is in complete contrast. In defence, he's right pat and pad. When he sees the opportunity of hitting post point, which is nicely covered, that's good placing by Imran Khan. He's got a gully and a point. It's chopping him off a bit, making him play it a little bit more towards cover, I think. This is good thinking.
Yusuf took that ball above his head. It was quick, it bounced, and it swung in.
He had two balls before he took it ankle high, didn't he? There's a variation in bounce, obviously. Now that's better, isn't he? Look complete, doesn't he, in defence? And you need good defence with this man. I don't know that I've seen many better left-handers to come through to this country from overseas. He would rank as one of the greatest. He's a little different to Alan Davidson. Alan Davidson had better control of the ball in the air, but I'll leave it with you.
Taken on the thigh pad.
Alan swung the ball both ways. This fellow doesn't swing it as much, but he swings it 2 or 3 inches, which is all you want. Just to take the inside edge of the bat or the outside edge. But I'm trying to think of another left armer. You've got to go back to men like Bill Verse. That was 1932 and 36. Underwood, of course, a great bowler, but not so good here. But he was a different type.
Slower ball. Waugh again looking very compact. Yes, it was always a thrill to go and watch someone like Davo as a kid. I mean, he was always thinking and doing something with the ball. And
yeah, he did it well too.
The one thing I remember about Davo, you talk of the Sri Lankans having a lot of padding as a leg byer signal. I remember seeing him one day going out to bat for Western Suburbs, and I've never seen so much padding in my life.
That's
He had chest pads, thigh pads, stomach pads.
It's not like Alan. He was always suspect in injury ways. He got hit a lot. He's a very big man. He got a name in cricket amongst these guys, the Claw, you know, because he had a hand like a bucket, and he took magnificent catches. And I think Richie was pretty lucky that he had him as the other end of the. Then he had men like Mackenzie and those fellas. A great combination. But Richie used him and used him well. He was a great captain, Richie. You know just how much to give a bowler and how much not to give him. A very clever student.
Mushtaq continues to draw.
Well bowled. He brought him forward and then he had to hurry. This is clever. I like watching cricket like that. Doesn't spin create the atmosphere with you? There's a sense of expectancy around a spinner.
Smacked away, and they can save their legs. Shorter one. It's set up nicely for Waugh. He goes to 16.
He's a very quiet young man, Waugh, isn't he? I've only met him a couple of times. He doesn't talk much. When he talks a lot of sense. And there's a lot of talk about making him captain ultimately. I hope they don't. Not that he wouldn't do the job, but...
Yes, he's such a fine natural talent.
Well, you see, he's going to have continuing trouble with his back. He's got some problems there that whether he can get over it, I know he's going to be on a lot of exercises through the winter, and I'm talking to the doctor that's looking after the team, and he's expressed that opinion. You have to be very careful and gentle exercise. And yet, you see, he said he's going to be a very complete batsman eventually. He's nearly that now. But to add captaincy to it might detract from his performance of the bat. How do you feel about things like that?
I favour someone like Mark Taylor, I think.
Yeah.
He's also a quiet person, but very intelligent, and I think he has the potential to be an Australian captain.
I've never met him, Gordon, but I like his approach to cricket. He's purposeful, isn't he?
He's a very traditional style of cricketer.
Yeah.
And he's a run-scoring machine.
And a good chap.
Yes, a very pleasant, unassuming
That's good to hear.
man.
But I just feel that Waugh is a specialist, and leave him at that. So I better leave you with that too.
Well, we're going to do after this over, we'll do a double change of commentators.
Righto.
But thank you very much for joining us, Mac. We've got to make Craig Sargent earn his money. He's come across from Western Australia.
I don't think he'd mind that, but it's coming. He likes his cricket, if I know Craig.
We'll see how good he is on the tennis court tomorrow morning.
Oh, you're going to test him out, eh?
Yes, Alan Hurst is having a game too. He actually went and bought a pair of shorts last night for the occasion.
Pretty good at it, are they?
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
Reserve judgment. But just on that expectancy and the contest, I think that's something that we all enjoyed about your broadcasting, the way you could build a situation at the start of a test match.
Well, you get plenty of practice out of it.
That one's gone straight through and he's trapped in front. Steve Waugh seemed to lose that ball. Wasim Akram, a full pitch delivery, and Waugh has been hit on the boot, and there's no doubt about that one skittling the stumps.
Clever. Really clever bowling. Slow, full toss almost, wasn't it? Yorker. I'll put it down before seeing it on replay. Yeah, I'd pay that, wouldn't you?
It certainly was
Slow.
swinging a long way, but he was right back on his stumps.